Have you ever felt a presence so close it almost pulls you in? Not with touch, but with energy you can't explain? The kind that lingers in the silence, where every glance feels heavier than words, and something inside you awakens before you even understand why? Most people believe that the moment they stop fighting and finally walk away is the moment the abuse ends. They imagine that by removing themselves from the conflict, they have taken the final step towards safety and peace. But psychology reveals a far more disturbing and unsettling truth. The moment a narcissist realizes you are done, that you have decided to reclaim your own life and prioritize your own boundaries, is often the moment when the real danger quietly begins. It is paradoxical, almost cruel in its timing. Just as you finally find the courage and clarity to choose yourself, the narcissist shifts into a more calculated, intense, and unpredictable form of behavior, one that is designed to destabilize and unnerve you at your core. You might be asking yourself why it feels like the situation intensifies just when you thought it would end. Why does your silence, the simple act of withdrawing from their manipulations, trigger a response that seems almost surgical in its intent to dismantle your peace of mind? Why does it feel as though every wordless moment becomes a test, a hidden trap that forces you to question your own sanity, even when you know you are doing everything right? There is a specific, invisible final move that a narcissist reserves for precisely this moment. It is not meant to win you back, at least not in the sense of reconciliation. Its purpose is far darker. It is a psychological mechanism, a trap designed to shatter your trust in your own reality and to make you doubt the very clarity that allowed you to leave in the first place. Understanding this mechanism is not optional. It is essential if you want to leave truly untouchable. Taught us that human interaction is never just about words or superficial actions. It is the movement of psychic energy, the exchange of unconscious forces between two people. In healthy relationships, this energy flows like a tide, nourishing both individuals, creating a dynamic where both parties feel alive, supported, and seen. But in a narcissistic dynamic, this flow is not reciprocal. It is entirely one-sided. The narcissist, cut off from their own source of vitality and wholeness, relies on siphoning energy from those around them. They survive, in a very literal psychological sense, as parasitic entities, dependent on others to maintain their fragile self-image. Once you internally detach, once you stop feeding into the flow they depend on, the invisible famine begins. Even when you are physically present in the same space, cooking dinner, sitting silently in the car, or sharing the same home, nothing may seem different to an outsider. But in the unseen realm of psychic interaction, a dramatic shift has taken place. The narcissist begins to starve. This starvation is primal, triggering a reptilian panic that is not about losing a partner or a friend, but about losing their very means of survival. Their energy source has been cut off. This phase is marked by hyper-awareness and intense predatory focus. They watch closely, scanning for micro-expressions, the slightest flicker of annoyance, fear, or admiration that signals their continued existence in your emotional world. When they fail to find it, a charged, almost electric tension fills the room. This tension is invisible yet palpable, noticeable in the smallest ways. You may be sitting silently at the dinner table, contemplating a life that no longer revolves around their demands, imagining a future where you are fully independent, yet the room feels heavier than usual. You haven't raised your voice. You haven't provoked conflict. Yet the narcissist senses your autonomy as a direct threat. A casual question like, "What are you thinking about?" is delivered in a tone that feels more like interrogation than curiosity. It is a sonar ping sent into the emptiness, designed to elicit a response that reassures them of their control. When you answer calmly, indifferent to their probing, it shatters the reflection they rely on. A narcissist cannot perceive themselves directly. They cannot face their own fragmented reality. Instead, they see themselves through the reactions of others. Your anger validates their power. Your sadness validates their significance. But your indifference, it erases them. This existential terror triggers a desperate need to provoke, to elicit any reaction that restores their sense of reality. The silence that follows the initial break is not peace. It is the quiet of a predator assessing a prey that refuses to flinch. They begin testing your defenses, seeking cracks in your resolve with subtle manipulations. They may use small prods, a backhanded compliment, a violated boundary, a forgotten promise, all designed to provoke a reaction. When you remain unmoved, when you meet their attempts with unwavering calm and emotional detachment, you force them to confront a void they have spent a lifetime running from. This is where passive energy extraction turns into desperate attempts to reclaim what they lost. They cannot absorb your energy quietly anymore. They feel compelled to forcibly extract it. Understanding this process is critical. It reveals why leaving a narcissist is rarely simple. The initial calm, the absence of confrontation, masks a complex psychological struggle that is invisible to anyone outside the relationship. To survive and remain unaffected, you must recognize and anticipate these tactics before they fully manifest. In the next stage, the narcissist's charming facade violently inverts. What was once a source of admiration and comfort, the person who mirrored your emotions, promised you love, and seemed to understand your inner world, suddenly becomes a mirror of your fears. Jungian psychology calls this the reversal of opposites. Any extreme state will eventually swing to its opposite to restore balance. The extreme affection, the golden period of early charm, was always unsustainable. It was a performance of light that inevitably cast a deep shadow. Once you withdraw your energy, the pendulum swings violently. The pedestal you once stood upon collapses, replaced by a gaze filled with disgust, resentment, and calculated hostility. This inversion is disorienting. It appears sudden, unjustified, and frighteningly personal. The narcissist does not need a reason beyond your refusal to comply. Your calm independence is perceived as ultimate betrayal. The mechanism at work is known as splitting. They cannot hold nuanced perspectives. You are either their savior, feeding their fragile ego, or the demon who threatens their constructed reality. There is no in-between. The moment you stop playing the role of the compliant source of supply, you are cast as the villain. This narrative rewrite is instantaneous, almost instinctual. They label you as cold, abusive, even as the narcissist themselves, to reconcile the chaos your withdrawal has caused in their mind. Even mundane moments of daily life are affected. Wearing an outfit they once complimented, performing tasks they once appreciated, can provoke a sudden cold judgment. They target your insecurities with precision, testing the armor you have built since leaving. Every glance, every word, every tone is a probe to see if the old vulnerabilities still bleed. It is not about the superficial acts. They are looking for a crack in your emotional shield, a sign that you are still tethered to their control. This psychological warfare is subtle, relentless, and requires awareness to navigate without being drawn back into their influence. The journey of leaving a narcissist is not linear. It is a test of patience, observation, and inner fortitude. Every silent meal, every calm refusal, every boundary maintained teaches the narcissist that their previous tactics no longer work. You are no longer their projection screen, and this threatens their very sense of existence. Each subtle manipulation they attempt is an effort to restore the familiar unilateral energy flow. Yet, by staying aware and refusing to react, you maintain control over your own mind. You build an inner fortress impervious to their psychological games, preserving your peace and independence. To fully understand this process, it is essential to see the patterns. Early charm, energy siphoning, silent withdrawal, reversal of opposites, splitting, and probing are all predictable stages once you know what to look for. They follow the same psychological blueprint, and recognizing each stage empowers you to respond with clarity rather than instinctual reaction. Knowledge of these mechanisms transforms fear into strategy. It allows you to leave unshaken, to maintain your emotional autonomy, and to witness the narcissist's desperation without being drawn into the chaos. Awareness is your most effective weapon. The withdrawal of your energy is a mirror of the narcissist's fractured self. Your calm and independence reveal their incompleteness, forcing them to confront their need for control. They cannot manipulate your emotions if you are grounded and unattached. Every small act of non-reactivity is a victory, an assertion of autonomy, a reclaiming of your psychic energy. Each time you resist the bait, they experience an internal collapse, a reminder that the power they relied on is gone. Your presence remains physical, but your inner self is untouchable, unassailable, and free from the psychological trap they set for those who still react. Understanding this cycle provides more than just protection. It offers liberation. By observing the narcissist's pattern, by learning to remain neutral and composed, you can navigate interactions without being drawn into manipulation. You reclaim the narrative of your life, redefine boundaries, and cultivate a space of true safety. The key is consistency, maintaining emotional detachment, refusing to feed old dynamics, and observing without judgment. The world outside the narcissist remains unchanged, yet your inner landscape becomes a sanctuary. The predator may stalk and probe, but their attempts at control no longer penetrate your mind or spirit. This journey is challenging, yet it is transformative. Recognizing the invisible famine, understanding the pendulum swing, anticipating the split, and refusing to engage in reaction are all steps toward empowerment. The narcissist's attempts to destabilize you ultimately expose their own vulnerabilities, their own fractured psyche. By holding steady, you assert not just independence, but mastery over the unseen forces that once controlled your emotional world. Every small victory reinforces your clarity, fortifies your boundaries, and strengthens your capacity for authentic peace. Awareness and preparation are the true antidotes to manipulation. This hostility serves a dual purpose, both obvious and insidious. First, it is an attempt to provoke the emotional reaction they are desperately starving for. If they cannot claim your love, they will settle for your pain. Pain, after all, is a form of attention, a twisted substitute for the connection they cannot generate on their own. The anger, the frustration, the hurt that they extract becomes fuel for their fragile sense of self. Second, this hostility is a mirror of their own self-loathing. Carl Jung observed that humans tend to project their shadow qualities onto others. The narcissist, in particular, is acutely aware of their emptiness, their sense of worthlessness, and their feelings of fraudulence. When they encounter someone beginning to awaken to their own strength and authenticity, jealousy and rage ignite within them. This envy is burning, a slow, corrosive force aimed at sabotaging your progress. They want to drag you back into the mud with them, to erase every step of growth you have made, to remind you that leaving them has consequences. The transition from idealization to devaluation is sudden and absolute. The person you once saw as loving, attentive, and reflective is now twisted into a being of cruelty, a predator who hunts for every weakness. Your shared memories, moments that were once sacred and joyful, are suddenly rewritten in real time. Experiences that once bonded you are transformed into evidence of your selfishness, incompetence, or emotional instability. They will deny words you know they spoke and accuse you of actions you never took. And this gaslighting is no longer subtle. It becomes aggressive, hateful, and designed to dominate. This phase is profoundly painful because empaths and sensitive souls tend to cling to the memory of the good version of the narcissist. You may find yourself asking, where did that person go? Where is the one I loved? Jung would explain that the persona, the charming mask you adored, never truly represented their authentic self. The cold, vindictive figure you now encounter is much closer to the reality of their undeveloped and fractured inner world. The mask hasn't just crumbled. It has been incinerated by the heat of their rage, leaving only the raw, unfiltered shadow. It is essential to validate your experience. If you have ever looked into someone's eyes and seen that sudden shift from warmth to predatory coldness, you did not imagine it. That terrifying transition is real, and acknowledging it is the first step toward reclaiming your power. The narcissist does not stop at private manipulation. Once they realize they cannot control your mind directly, they escalate the conflict to a broader battlefield, your reputation. Jung wrote extensively about the collective shadow, the unconscious emotional patterns that sweep through groups of people. The narcissist instinctively understands this. If they can isolate you and sway the perception of those around you, your reality becomes distorted in the eyes of others. Your friends, family, and colleagues can unwittingly become soldiers in a silent war against you. Through subtle whispers, carefully crafted comments, and feigned concern, the narcissist plants seeds of doubt. "I'm really worried about her," they might tell a friend, shaking their head with a practiced look of sorrow. "She's been acting so erratic. I think she might be unstable." This framework is devastatingly effective. It positions the narcissist as the suffering, compassionate victim and casts you as the problem to be managed. By the time you reach out for support, the well has already been poisoned. Your justified reactions, anger, tears, and attempts to defend yourself are reframed through the lens they have meticulously crafted. "See, there she goes. He was right. She is unstable." The isolation is not accidental. It is the goal. The narcissist fears exposure more than anything because you have seen behind the mask. To prevent the truth from being revealed, they must discredit the witness, and they enlist proxies to assist unknowingly. People who believe they are helping are often duped into serving the narcissist's psychological siege. You feel this shift physically and emotionally. Walking into a workplace, a social gathering, or a family event, the atmosphere changes instantly. Conversations halt, eyes avoid contact, and a tangible tension fills the room. You haven't done anything wrong, yet you are made to feel like a pariah, an outsider in a space that once felt familiar and safe. This is the collective shadow in motion. The narcissist projects their toxicity onto you, and the group absorbs it unconsciously, reinforcing the manipulation. Triangulation, as this tactic is known, destabilizes your sense of reality. When everyone seems to accept the narcissist's version of events, self-doubt creeps in. You may start to question your own memories and perceptions, asking yourself, "Am I the crazy one?" This self-doubt is the narcissist's most potent weapon. By convincing you to mistrust your own mind, they gain control without needing to be physically present. Your thoughts, emotions, and perception become the battlefield. Every second of indecision, every flicker of uncertainty strengthens their hold. They do not merely aim to cause temporary confusion. They intend to erode your confidence permanently, ensuring that your autonomy is undermined. Yet, there is a deeper, more sinister layer to this campaign. It is not simply about destabilizing you emotionally. The narcissist's strategy operates on multiple levels simultaneously, attacking both your inner sense of self and your outer reality. They manipulate not just your friends and family, but also your environment. Every comment, every side glance, every half-hearted whisper becomes a weapon. Your professional reputation, social relationships, and community standing are all at risk. The narcissist creates a narrative that positions themselves as virtuous and you as unstable, even dangerous. By the time the world notices, you may feel surrounded, outnumbered, and trapped. This psychological warfare is meticulous, patient, and often invisible to the untrained eye. Recognizing it requires both observation and self-trust. Awareness is the antidote to this form of manipulation, allowing you to reclaim your voice, restore your confidence, and navigate the world without succumbing to their distortions. Even as this campaign unfolds, your own perception is your strongest defense. Documenting events, holding on to your own memories, and seeking support from trusted allies who can see the truth are essential tools. The narcissist relies on secrecy, and the exploitation of social dynamics to maintain control. By shining light on their strategy and refusing to internalize their projections, you disrupt the pattern. Each moment of clarity, each step in preserving your truth, weakens the narcissist's power. Their campaign of whispers, once effective, begins to lose its grip as you anchor yourself in reality and maintain consistent boundaries. The narcissist feeds relentlessly on the drama, the arguments, the phone calls, and the interventions. Each interaction provides them with a temporary surge of importance, a way to fill the void left by your withdrawal. They position themselves as the conductor of a chaotic orchestra, orchestrating chaos and watching as you scramble to defend yourself against accusations that often have no basis in reality. The power they derive from seeing you react to these phantom attacks is intoxicating, yet it is tactical, not personal. This is a fortress they are building to hide their own emptiness, a distraction from the shame and hollowness that live inside them. They need you to be the lightning rod for all their inner turmoil, and every moment of your emotional upheaval is a temporary supply line for their fragile ego. Just as you brace yourself for continued battle, preparing to withstand the verbal assaults and smear campaigns, the narcissist can abruptly shift tactics. The wind changes direction, their rage evaporates, and what replaces it is a devastatingly vulnerable posture. The phone that rang with threats falls silent, and the emails, the texts, the manipulative voicemails cease. Instead, what appears is soft, apologetic whimpering. This is the false surrender, a phase infinitely more dangerous for the empath than any overt anger. When a predator bares its teeth, your instincts know to run. But when a predator exposes a neck, when they present vulnerability, your natural drive to nurture and protect engages. Jung warned that often the most dangerous threat to the soul is not a monster, but a wounded child appearing to require salvation. The narcissist understands your psyche better than you do, having spent the relationship mapping every emotional contour, every trigger, every savior response you carry. They know your resilience shields you against cruelty, that you can withstand their anger by rationalizing it as evil, but they also know your empathy cannot withstand their suffering. To witness the person you loved, apparently broken and vulnerable, bypasses your logical defenses and strikes directly at the core of your empathic nature. Jung described the archetype of the wounded healer, the psychological pattern in which one instinctively feels responsible for healing others as a way of managing their own unhealed pain. The narcissist exploits this, shifting into the archetype of the eternal child, presenting themselves as helpless, lost, and dependent, an infant in a world of darkness, demanding your guidance. This strategic regression happens at precisely the moment you are preparing to leave. Perhaps your bags are packed, your communications cut, or your mindset firmly on freedom. Suddenly they appear, not as the abuser, but as the potential you once believed in, a ghost of the person you imagined could exist. Their tears are convincing, real in the moment, but the intent behind them is tactical. They are not mourning the pain they caused you. They are mourning the loss of control, the terrifying realization that they cannot manipulate your mind as easily as before. Their admissions, however rare, are performances designed to bait your empathy. "I know I've been awful," they might say, eyes fixed on the floor, voice trembling. "I am broken. I need help. I am starting therapy. Don't abandon me now." The pull to believe them is magnetic. For years, you may have longed to see this person capable of change, and suddenly it appears before you. The empathy you feel, the mirror neurons firing in resonance with their sorrow, erodes the armor you built to withstand anger. You might think perhaps this is the breakthrough, the moment when real change begins. Should I stay? Am I abandoning someone who is finally learning? This is the trap of potential. Empaths fall in love with what could be, not what is. The false surrender is a calculated performance meant to mirror your hope, to show the reflection of your desires for change and progress. Jung warned that true psychological transformation is painstakingly slow and requires deep shadow work, not a sudden display of tears or regret. When this projection meets your impermeable boundary, the gray rock of indifference, it bounces back, landing squarely on the narcissist. They are forced to carry their own shadow, a fate they have spent their life avoiding. And when this last defense fails, the final chaotic detonation occurs. This is the extinction burst, the psychological equivalent of a burning star flaring before cooling, a manic crescendo born of frustration, fear, and impotence. The subtle manipulations of earlier phases are replaced by overt aggression, threats of financial ruin, legal entanglements, defamation, or personal harm. They may drive recklessly, waste joint resources, or paralyze you with manufactured crises. To the uninitiated, it feels like the world has ended. Yet, strategically, this is the clearest evidence of your victory. The ferocity of the narcissist is directly proportional to their loss of control. A person with true power does not need to threaten. They act, they remove obstacles quietly. The narcissist screams because they have lost access to your mind and your energy. Their behavior is driven by the need to destroy the living witness to their failure. You are a walking contradiction to the grandiose persona they have meticulously curated. Your stability, happiness, and detachment expose the lie of their perfection, and they cannot tolerate it. Every threat, every social media post, every new partner displayed publicly is part of a theater of desperation, a hologram designed to provoke jealousy, to validate their relevance. Recognizing this performance is liberation. It is evidence that their panic, not love, drives the act. You have become the integrated warrior Jung alluded to when describing the mature psyche. You can love deeply, but with eyes open. You can give freely, but from overflow, not depletion. You have accepted the terrifying truth that you are alone in your mind, and you have made that mind a sanctuary. The dirtiest final move, the projective identification, the smear campaigns, were designed to shatter you so the narcissist could arrange you into a mosaic pleasing to them. But they failed. The pressure fused those pieces into something unbreakable. You have not just survived, you have graduated from a brutal school of psychological awakening. The narcissist remains trapped in their cycle, a ghost forever hunting the next meal. But you have become the source of your own life. You have turned the lead of trauma into the gold of consciousness. You are free. In the Jungian sense, you are finally, terrifyingly, beautifully real. The moment a narcissist realizes you are done is dangerous, but it is also the birth canal of your true self. From psychic starvation and smear campaigns to weaponized pity and projective identification, you now hold the map of the battlefield. Jung reminded us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You were never meant to fuel another's broken ego. You were meant to be a sovereign entity. The narcissist's greatest fear was never that you would leave. It was that you would see them clearly. Now you do. Standing in that sovereign silence, immune to their projections, you hand back the shame that never belonged to you. You leave them to wrestle with their own shadow, while you step forward into the light of your own conscious life. Your defense is built, but your reclamation is just beginning. To retrieve the energy they stole from you during the war, click the video appearing on your screen now. True sovereignty requires this final step. In the end, what you went through was not meaningless pain. It was a process that forced you to wake up, to see clearly, and to reclaim parts of yourself that were slowly taken away. Every tactic, every confusion, every emotional storm had a purpose, not for them, but for your growth. What once controlled you now becomes something you understand, and what you understand can no longer control you. That is where your power begins to return. You are no longer reacting the same way. You are observing. You are no longer trying to fix, prove, or explain. You are choosing. And that shift changes everything. The patterns that once trapped you lose their grip because you no longer participate in them. You are not playing the same role anymore, and without your role, the entire dynamic collapses. This is what freedom looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, but quiet, steady, and unshakable. The person you were at the beginning of this journey could not have handled this clarity. It had to be earned through experience, through awareness, and through facing uncomfortable truths. Now you see what is real and what is not. You recognize manipulation without needing to question yourself. You trust your own perception again, and that trust is something no one can take from you anymore. Moving forward, your responsibility is not to look back, not to reanalyze, and not to reopen doors that cost you your peace. Your responsibility is to protect what you have rebuilt. Your energy, your focus, and your time are valuable, and you now understand that not everything deserves access to them. You choose where you invest yourself, and that choice defines the quality of your life. You did not lose yourself. You found yourself in a deeper, more real way than before. And now you move forward, not as someone who survived something, but as someone who understands, who sees clearly, and who no longer allows their reality to be shaped by someone else. That is your true ending, not just walking away, but walking forward as someone who cannot be pulled back into what once broke them.